Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. We want to welcome you. If you are a new subscriber, go ahead and hit the like button as well as you come in. That's what we do around here. And thank you for subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, we want to thank you for returning. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Let's go. Host a show, Escaping Reality and Going to Hell. Drug addicts step forward. Recovering addicts step forward as well. Today we are giving acknowledgement and we are talking about something that's very important. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also share this information with someone that you care about. Thank you. And come again. Hello, and thank you all for tuning in to the Goddess Tulsa show. Tonight we will be discussing drug addictions. And tonight is going to be a special show because we provide a platform. If you are an addict, if you are a recovering addict, if you know someone that is an addict, you've had to live with an addict or care for an addict. Um, Give me one moment. Can't post comments. Destinations. Okay. And so yeah, so we want to hear from everybody. And so first of all, I want to lead off in prayer. Um, I definitely want to lead off in prayer and then we'll follow up with the Lord's Prayer and then we'll start our show. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day and thank you for waking us all up and giving us another chance. Lord God, we just ask you that this moment of fellowship will be just that we where we can all fellowship and uplift and encourage someone. And Lord God, I just ask you to use my voice and let me be a vessel and, you know, give me the words to say when I don't have them. And I just ask that this would be a peaceful sanctuary for everybody to come and just kind of let it all out, or not even a sanctuary, a peaceful place, and really embrace and love on one another while educating each other. And I ask that you touch everyone's lives and those out there that are struggling with drugs or any type of addiction. Addiction does not just have to be drugs. And Lord God, we just ask you to wrap your arms around them, show them that you're there, and show them that they are worthy. Show up and show out in their life, show them favor, and let them see the sunlight through a cloudy day. And we ask that in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so we have done our prayer, and so now we'll do the the Lord's Prayer. Okay, it's Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. I did go ahead and drop the link. So if you guys want to come up, I'm so sorry. If you guys want to go ahead and come up, give me 1 second. I am actually going to give you guys just a little bit of music while I pull it all together. Let's see. Okay. So we have Sonya in the building, our head mod. We will definitely be peaceful, and if things want to go otherwise, we do have mods in place um to definitely have things running in order. And give me one moment. I'm just trying to pin the link so everyone will be able to sound off and engage in this conversation. This is an open dialogue, and everyone's welcome. All opinions are welcome. Any feedback is welcome. Why is it not letting me? Oh, okay. All right, give me one second, and I will. Okay, so the link is pinned. So for anyone that wants to come up and sound off and give your story or just engage, feel free to. Says hello, Queen Tosa. Hello, it's Goddess Tosa, my love. Yes, thank you, cool gamer. Thank you so much for supporting and always showing up. Hi, Queen in chat. Hello, Lakia Pearson. And that's the link right there. So everybody, if you want to engage, definitely hit that link. Hello, everyone. Sonya, maybe it says. Jessica, our second mod, she's very sweet and very popular. She says, hello and welcome to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. Please remember to hit those likes, share, subscribe buttons. Thank you for joining us tonight. She says, hello, Sonia. Hello, Miss Sonia and Jessica. Yes. Hello. So everybody is engaging. We do have a trigger warning. Today we will be discussing the topic of addiction. Please be respectful to all guests on the panel and in the chat. Evangelist Vows, conversation and inspiration says, hey, Queen Tulsa, stopping by to hit the like and giving the baby a bath. Thank you so much for stopping by. Absolutely. Okay, so today I want to share a story about addiction. And this story is going to be about me. I remember being turned on to a drug, and it was by a family friend. And I was very curious, and I felt like the person that encouraged it, like, I don't know, it was just so, I was curious. We were in the same vicinity, and boom, there it went. And I remember the first time when I started using, I remember that it was, I wanted more. I wanted more. And with addiction, it it started off, of course, okay, so mine was substance abuse. Mine was substance abuse. And so what it started off as, of course, it started off, at weed, marijuana, and then it starts from like other drugs from there. So it's like ecstasy, that's like coke. Um, and then, from there, then it goes up. And then from there, it went to crack. And I'm not going to say I was an ecstasy popper. I have popped ecstasy. And yeah. I mean, I don't even think that I knew what it was or, all that. I was just doing it because, the field that I was in and how I was, like moving and being open. I was a free spirit. And so different things, different experiences come about, you know. So one thing I can say, hey Sherelle, how are you? Thank you for coming by. Hey, 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 together we break chains. Hey, how are you? I'm not really sure who you are. Hello, cousin. Yes, it doesn't matter who you are. We're family. But listen, y'all. So, um, and oh, okay, so from there, it was like, okay, so now I'm using, and now I'm just at the part where I'm past the weed, I'm past the coke, I'm past, I'm past those parts. So now I'm on crack cocaine. And so, I got the using. And I remember like when I first started, I was like embarrassed to like go and shop for it. Like I was, oh, hey, Brooke, I love you. I was thinking about you today. You're going to live a long time. We're going to chat later. But I just remember like, I didn't want to go and get it. I didn't want people to see me like knocking at the dope man's house because everybody know in the hood where the dope man at. Because, I feel like, the smokers that was like, they had those funny walks and, they were just out playing and just like doing the most when they would smoke it, because everybody would have a different tweak. And I call it a different tweak. I call it a tweak because it's like, okay, well, somebody like for me, it was looking in the mirror and watching myself like blow out the smoke. Like I felt so sexy. Like, don't knock at my door. I would have my music going. My space would be clean. Like, I was a clean person that liked to get high. So I would clean up first and then, I would take my bath and, shower up and I would be in my robe and I would be feeling sexy, have my hair done and just feeling sexy. It made me feel sexy. And you know what? I'm saying this because I'm being vulnerable. And this is my story. And you know what? This is not my business. This is God's business because I don't use crack cocaine today, you know. And I got to give glory to God because he, brought me out of that. He took that taste out of my mouth, you know, no rehab, no nothing. Like, seriously. And I say that to say this: you never know what a person goes through, you never know what a person is thinking. Mental health is real. Mental health is real, depression is real. And never say never. Oh, that could never be me. Never say never. You know what I mean? You never know. It could be you. Hello, my love. Yes, welcome to the Goddess Tosa Show. Hello, Cool Gamer. You knew. Hey, you knew. Hey, Lakit. Okay, she's saying hello to everybody up in here. But listen, guys, if you would love to sound off, if you have a story, if you have something to contribute to the story, if you are one of my supporters and you would like to say something on my behalf, definitely hit that link and come on up and don't be shy. And if you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App at beautiful070707. You can do me Zelle, Queen Tulsa, Oklahoma at gmail.com. Or you can PayPal me at keeping up with yo queen because I am y'all's queen, right? All right. So let's go ahead and get a 1-2. Can we get like a quick 1-2 just to kind of wake you guys up? I want you guys to really, really, really get involved in this conversation. This is very serious. And if you have a friend, family, um, let's definitely sound off. They might watch this. What would you want them to see? What message would you want to get to them? All right, and we are back from that quick commercial break. Thank you all for supporting your queen, your goddess. If you would like to send the goddess gifts, you can send the goddess gifts to P.O. Box. Well, actually, you can ship to P.O. Box 195-1717 North Peoria Avenue, Suite 200, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106. We're always accepting gifts. If you would like to promote on this channel, you just hit me up on Instagram at Goddess Tulsa on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. All right, so back to the comments and back to the story. All right, so Pamela Bergosius, my son was addicted. Thank God he's clean now. Was a hard road. Well, what was he on? Lakia Pearson says, well, what was his choice? What was his drug of choice? I don't want to say, oh, what was he on? Because that can be offensive. What was his drug of choice? And then we have Lakia Pearson. She says, this topic is tough. I lost my best friend in 2019 when we were only 2 weeks apart. He jumped off a bridge. Sad thing about it is he was withdrawn from meth at that time. I miss him terribly. What is his name? And rest in peace to your friend. And my condolences. I'm so sorry to you. And Pamela, shout out to your son for making it through. If you guys can hear me clearly, can we get sevens in the building? Three sevens in a motorcycle. Um, yeah, that is horrible. What is his name so we can say his name because we want to recognize because we still have to do the work. I understand, some people they lost, lost the battle of, getting clean. And so we still have to voice and be a voice to those that are not here with us presently. Hello, Hood Life Chronicles. How are you? We are talking about drug addictions and actually any addiction. It doesn't have to specifically be drugs. It could be food. It could be love. Um, it could be plastic surgery. It could be that toxic relationship. Lakia, that's so rough. So sorry for your loss, hon. Cat Nunya, amen. Very. And our mods are just saying hello. RWG to my valedictorian friend, David. Yes, RWG to David. And actually, let's give a moment of silence to David. Okay, thank you guys so much for that. Hello, my love, Cat Nunya. You are so amazing. Okay. The white powder and Xanax. You know what? That white powder, child. Now that is something else. I'm not going to lie to you because, oh my gosh, it's like when it kicks in, when you get that drain, if it's some good stuff, if you didn't got that drain, different people they react to it differently. Some people get excited. Some people, they just be chilling their zone. And then you have people that likes to speed walk around. Like they got to keep moving. And then you have people that love to talk on that. Whew. Oh my goodness. You have people that love to talk on the white powder. And then the Zans, yeah. Now the Zans, oh my God, girl, that's a whole nother story. Yes. Everybody is saying hello. We got sevens in here. So that means you guys can hear me. And I might be behind on the comments, but I don't want to miss anybody. I want everybody to be acknowledged because you did take out the time to come by. April Showers, hello. How are you? And thank you for riding by. All right. Three sevens and motorcycles. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to. Okay. So we are going. Oh, okay. And thank you so much, guys. Long lives David. Yes, he will. You know what? He lives in you. And you know what, Lakia? Um, thank you for showing up for him. You are a strong woman. And reflect on those great moments that y'all had. Because I feel like a sense of you died, but really he's saying energy don't die, it transforms. So you need to ask the universe for his energy. And girl, watch how you push through. I give you like a week. I give you like a week. Keep do whatever it was that he told you to do. I don't know what it is, but you know, that's okay. Absolutely. On my way home, I'll catch y'all later. Love and blessings. Absolutely love you too. All right. So I do want to play a clip um, from my Instagram. And this particular video, you know, I went out on the block. Well, I was actually getting service done in my car. And so I just decided, okay, well, let me go over here to the, to the strip, to the stroll. And I wanted to give people a look at, working girls. And when I say working girls, it doesn't mean that somebody has to be working from a computer. You know, there's a block, So I want to give you guys a little insight into a world that I once lived in. So without further ado, um, yes, okay, so Lakia says, yes, be safe and be careful. Oh, okay, we got some more people. Cat Nugget says, on my way home now. I'll catch you all later. Love and blessings. We says, long lives David. Yes, he does. Be safe, Cat Nunya. Driving. Be careful. And then Lakia says, thank you so much. I needed those words. Made me tear up a bit. Shake my head. Listen, take it and do what that man said. Make him proud. Okay, so listen, without further ado, I want to share my screen and give you guys a insight on what I'm about. What I was about back then. Let me correct that. I know. Hell no. Oh, okay. He was standing around like he was waiting on you. I don't know why. And he don't know either, but he'll figure it out one day. Uh-huh. And when he figure it out, I'm gonna still be standing and not waiting on him. Yeah. For him. You know that. Fuck that. You think we should walk and tell them that we have a 2-girl special going? Who? The people. No, never worked out. Really? Bitches always fighting over the dick. You know what I'm saying? Not even that. It's them too. Oh, damn. I'm telling you, you'll find that you make more money when you walk by yourself. Oh, okay. I think you about to turn around for you, sis. Oh. All right, y'all. We are back on the blog. Back on the blog. Let's see. All right. So we got some action right here. Okay. You better get his head tore off. Look at that beat. Hey, we see you. We see you. Hey, yeah, I'm about to post this thing up right here so y'all can see what I have on. All right, guys. So far it's been no cars coming up. I guess they got the memo that it's a new bitch out on the block. So everybody's showing up and showing out there, coming out half dressed. Now it's time for me to go get my baby. I can finally move. Okay. He was standing around like he was waiting on you.
I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know either, but he'll figure it out one day.
Uh-huh.
And when he figure it out, I'm going to still be standing here not waiting on him.
Yeah.
For him. You know that. Fuck that.
You think we should walk and tell them that we have a two-girl special going?
Who?
The people.
No, never worked out.
Really? Bitches always fighting over the dick. You know what I'm saying?
Not even that. It's them too.
Oh, damn.
I'm telling you. You'll find that you make more money when you walk by yourself.
Oh, okay. I think you about to turn around for you, sis. Oh, okay. Well, girl, get it. I'll be out here. I'm trying to wait for somebody to pick me up. Shit, I might just have a ride. Is that bike for me? Oh, okay. We got some action and some traction. Y'all, oh girl put me up on game. She gave me my popsicle to tease him up. She wasn't lying. That's her baby. That's her date. He probably asking about me. Like, is that your friend? All right, we got the blue truck riding around for the fifth time, y'all. We out here working. Huh? Am I going down to the church? No, I said you know it, Calvin. Yeah, she just walked up that way. Girl, we're trying to take your date. You just asked me a question. I'm good. How you doing? Uh-huh. Hey girl, how you doing? You want this popsicle? You want the popsicle? Keep you cold? You want it? Here. Let's keep you cold.
I'm gonna have a shower. I can't do this anymore. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. You be careful out here and try to get you a bottle of water. All right, y'all, we about to talk. Oh no. Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
All right, how are you doing?
Good. Trying to give me a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, yeah?
You have one? I mean, can you help me out with a pack of smokes?
I can help you out with this.
Okay, yeah. What
It's
is?
stouter, but hey,
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. What you got going on today?
oh, that all depends.
I know that's right. What do you be doing?
You ain't cops or anything, are you?
No.
You aren't?
Mm-mm.
Must have some fun.
Are you looking to have some fun? Oh, I was just trying to get something to eat. Can you help me with something to eat?
Go have some fun first.
No, my tummy has to be fed.
Well, you go have some fun before I'm open.
Okay, what was you trying to do?
You know,
No, I don't. We don't know each other.
thought we'd go get a room for about an hour,
And hang out. How much you got?
and that depends on what we're talking about. How much?
Okay, I need 1,000.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
there's no way.
How do I get out of here?
But I don't think it's that nice.
Oh, trust me, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm giving you the one-on-one of what it is to be a hoe, how they treat you, what that lifestyle is about. No, I'm not looking for, I'm saying, no, I'm not looking to trick off. I want to give you guys like the inside of what it is to be a hoe. If you guys start this video over, you'll see that I met a young lady. She was real cool. She was out here working, and she gave me a popsicle. And I ended up seeing this older lady. She said she was feeling like she was about to die. I was like, "Do you want this popsicle to keep her cold?" She was like, "Yeah." So nothing wrong with that. What you got going on there? Hey girl, how you doing? You want this popsicle? You want the popsicle? Keep you cold? You want it? Here. Let's keep you cold.
I'm gonna have a shower. I can't do this anymore. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. You be careful out here and try to get you a bottle of water. Sorry, guys. I had to jump out and come back in. I do apologize about that. But I wanted to give you guys a deep look into how people really have to survive out here in these streets. And mental health is real, drug addiction is real, and everybody has a story. Yeah, everybody has a story. And I'm thinking about if I can raise up some money, like I want to make being that it's like summer and it's hot and it's gonna be like really really hot this week. I want to just go to the store, get like some sandwich meat, some bread, some cheese, um and some chips and bottles of water, and go and help them out. You know what I'm saying? Like the ladies that are out there like gonna be in the heat and still gotta work. You know what? My thing is, people talk about it and how they're for it. Let's get out there and let's love on those ladies. If you ladies go in your closet and like any summer stuff that you know that you're not gonna wear, go ahead and just try to keep that in your on your person in your car and give it to a lady. If you can fill a purse up that you don't want with like personal hygiene, like a brush, a toothbrush, like little ins and outs, and like pass it out, definitely do that. You don't know everybody's story. Like I said, some of these people could really use some TLC. They are human just like us. They're just in a different stage and a different point in their life. But we never mock mental health or anything like that. Y'all know we talk about that over here. But like for the people that just toot your nose up at them, and if you at and this is my thing, like if you see these people at the stop sign or at a stop light, keep like this is what I want you guys to do. This is just a small request, a suggestion, not a command. But buy some bottles of water and keep them in your car, because and then it doesn't have to be cold because it's already going to be hot outside, and you don't want that to hurt or shock them. I just learned that the other day from our head mod, Sonya Media. Hello, Salam. How are you? Hello, Hood Life. Hello, Katnunya. Hello, everybody that's just coming in. Um, Definitely want to say hello to everyone coming in. Would somebody like to come up on the panel and share, just some insight just from the live of what you saw, what I provided, any feedback, any suggestions for me as far as pushing the content, what direction should I go in? I do have the StreamYard link here on YouTube. If you're not following me on YouTube, it is Keeping Up with Queen Tulsa Goddess. If you would like to come on and definitely sound off. Yeah, Lakia, can you come up if you don't mind? Sonya, would you mind coming up? While we do that, I'll go ahead and give you guys this intro one more time. We'll take a quick intermission. This intermission, you can go and use the restroom, tidy up that makeup, beat that face, or whatever it is that you got to do. But we got a minute and 30 seconds, so go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for definitely tuning in. Shout out to those that did send in a cash app, did send in a donation. I will utilize this money to go and feed the homeless tomorrow. Okay, so that's what we will be doing. Grab your refreshment snacks and okay, let's see. So commercial break. I wish I could, but I gotta keep it down. Babies are sleeping. It's okay. Grab your refreshment snacks and don't forget to hit that like. All right, we are back and we have our head mod in the building. Sonya Mabia, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome. Well, listen, Sonya has a channel on YouTube and she's also on other platforms. Sonya, would you mind telling the people where they can find you?
Um, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. My name. Just type in Sonya Mavia on all those platforms. You'll find me.
Absolutely. So Sonya, just from everything that I kind of went over in the video, I don't know which when you got here, but I was talking about, addictions, mental health, and people that are in unfortunate situations. What are your thoughts?
Um, Addiction, I don't know. But helping out the homeless people. Some of them on food, but some of them on money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm definitely going to go and get some bottles. Well, I'm gonna put some gas in my car, and then I'm gonna go and get some bottles of water, and just wherever I see them, I'm just gonna give them water. And even if I have to just park my car and just like go walk and like pass them out, I want to at least I need to clean out a backpack, so I can like stick the waters in there and just go hand them out.
Well, like I said, some of them do, but some of them rather have money.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, Sonia, have you ever had anybody in your family member that struggled with any type of addiction that you would feel comfortable with talking about?
Anybody? Hell, I had family members when I was young that was on drugs.
So when you were young, did that affect you in any type of way? Like just by you seeing it?
No,
Okay.
I mean that's then they weren't spending my money. But I don't know if they still are today. That I don't know because I'm not around them. But growing up, um, I think mine was paying $1. It's like back, oh Lord, in them 80s, late 70s, 80s. She was paying like $1 a month rent for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath project and got put out because she got 6 months behind. Now that I couldn't understand, to be honest. I'm like, the hell you say $1 and you got put out behind six because you ready to do drugs? Now that I didn't understand that. But I guess like they said, drugs is powerful.
Oh yeah. We have a comment. McClurk says, "Hey, Tulsa mods in chat." Lovely one says, P, you are so kind." I think she was trying to say Sonya. Sonya, you are so kind and giving. Queen Toast, I wish I lived. Oh, she said Pam. Okay, so P, you are so kind and giving. Queen Toast, I wish I lived close to you so I could help pass out water. I wish you was too. Hello, McClurk, lovely one. I know both of you know this, but people who have addictions, they don't want them. And I hate when people make fun of them. Yeah, it's horrible.
Mm, but you wouldn't like me. I'm in Texas, and I would say the people here now, the honest ones, they say, "Hey, I'm looking for this, that, and the third. Go get this, that, and the other." I have no problem. But this one man, to my he hungry while eating. I'm like, sir, you know you got a mouthful of food right now, and what do you mean you hungry? Oh. Okay, yeah, good luck. Or they got on brand new clothes. I would say the panhandlers here, some of them, do they look homeless? Yes. I know it's a lot of, in the area I'm in, it's a lot of them. But a lot of them, no. You just gotta, like, really, like, pick and choose who's really homeless. Because you're my, well, I ain't got nowhere to live, but you got on brand new $500 J's. Interesting. I suggest you take them shoes off your feet. How you got on $500 pair of shoes, but you hungry? Yeah, they go around the corner getting a Mercedes or they Lexus and go drive home. To all, I was just getting some gas money.
Mm.
But then you got like a lot of mental people that got mental issues that will rather sleep outside than live somewhere. Cause I talked to a lot of them, and they said that they rather sleep outside, and they got like that little tent up, like a little community that type thing. You know, if you kind of talk to them crazy, they ready to fight.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this. As far as like the living part, now, I mean, with the way the world is going, I think the homeless are going to be pretty safe, because they have the
Mhm.
survival skills to live without. And a lot of
Mhm.
people that put them down, baby, you should be taking notes on how to survive. Like go,
Mhm.
like go and visit these camps, like, hey, y'all need something, and how do y'all survive here? And just ask questions. But definitely,
Now,
um,
like I said, wham, it's kind of like you walk up on them people and you gonna get cut. But but it's like a lot of them, they cool. You sit down and talk to them, and you got a lot of them that are running in the middle of the street to stop your car. And I be like, you don't want your life, cause
yeah, but
somebody
let me
gonna come through.
yeah,
You're
but let
not
me just
gonna
ask you
stop.
this, Tanya. So, like, as far as like experiencing a family member or that seeing like, how did you know that it was drugs that were being used?
How did I know there was drugs being used? Cause maker they were buying it, smoking it in front of everybody. Didn't care. I know what drugs look like, and
So
they
how
just
early
did
did
it.
yeah, but like how early did you know what drugs look like?
I grew up in projects, so I would say, let me see, what I live over there. I say about 5, 6, 7, probably about 7 years old. I knew what it was because I grew up in projects, and when you walk down, go people house or go my camp folk them house that stayed on the other street, you see people outside doing it, and I'm not stupid. I know they weren't smoking cigarettes. They wasn't weed. They were smoking a little bit of rock, little white, little pebble, little things, smoking on cans. Well, I didn't see pipes back then. I saw a lot of people poke holes in Coke cans and put a little screen on there and smoked it like that. Like I said, I had a lot of those in my family, so I wasn't shocked about it. Or people, drinking, or people out there tricking. Like I said, I grew up in the projects. I seen dead bodies every time I left the house. So didn't nothing surprise or shock me growing up.
Okay. So we do have um a comment. Lovely one says no, people who are homeless and sleep outside don't rather do it, but they rather do it than back to their family who should be helping them and keep helping them and keep getting hurt when they ask for help and get told no.
Mm,
Yes, I can understand that. Um However, that's why I made the statement, like when we see these peoples in these camps and stuff, not saying like rush up in them, but like at least like take an offer and take a bottle of water like for a few people, like just that's why I say have bottles of water. So you can say, hey, I'm just offering water, and then ask questions like, how do y'all live here, and what is your condition, and would you it is this do you feel comfortable here, and if you had other choices, what would those be, and just kind
and
of try,
oh,
yeah. So here, let
no,
me
my hair will come out because here we go. I
okay, hold on.
understand probably where you live, but I just said the people I talked to where I lived sat there and said, that's a lot of mental people that's homeless. They rather be out there homeless than
Mhm.
paying bills somewhere. I understand what you're saying. That's probably where you at. I said the people I talk to where I am.
Right.
So what you say really don't matter to me, to be honest. But don't
Gotcha.
sit here and say, "Oh, they do this." No, that's probably where you live. I said the people I talk to where I live,
Right. So
not
Jennifer
where
said,
you at, but where I'm at. Said
yeah,
this. Now some of them are mental. Yes, some of them are like out there or they on drugs, they mental, whatever. But they say they rather sleep outside. As far as their family, they ain't dealt with their family in years. And these
yeah,
like older people, not the new young ones coming out, but I'm talking about the ones my age and above, the ones I really just sit down and talk to and be like helping
yeah. Well, hold on, Sonya. I want to
those.
read these comments because I don't want to get too far off a track. Jennifer Love Spew says many people who have dual diagnosis problems prefer to not be confined to a living space. That is actually a conversation that people don't understand. So many people who have dual diagnosis problems prefer not to be confined to a living space. Okay. So, Lovely One says, or at least I do, you can be homeless because of a divorce, losing your job, and nobody reaches back out to help you. It's not always because of drugs. Let me say this. I was homely. I became homeless. Okay, so I have to rehash this. So I had come
Mm,
so like I said, I was raised in Atlanta. I was born here, raised in Atlanta. And so when I come here, I was on drugs, and I was, wanting to come here, get my life in order, get myself clean, and just stay clean. And so when I got here and I moved here, I lived with a family member. And before you know it, I mean, she just flipped the hell out. And next thing you know, I went to my grandmother's house and I stayed with my grandmother. And my daddy, he
mm-hmm,
had this girlfriend where he always lets the woman like control him. And so they had come over. Well, they were over the phone because my grandmother, what I didn't know is she was in the early stages of dementia, and she had called them and told them that I had stole her freezer key. And so they were all wound up and they were like hyped up. They came over to fight me. And so long story short, um, I had to be put out of there. So that night I was sitting in the hospital because I couldn't stay in her house. They made me come with them to the hospital. I'm sitting at the hospital. The sheriffs come to me and tell me that my grandmother says that she does not want me at her house. And so I left there and I just went walking. Mind you, I have on these thigh high boots, long hair, just walking. And you want to know how I got shelter that night? I had to lay down with a man. I had to lay down with this man and be intimate to have a to lay and get some sleep. I didn't have nowhere else to go. It wasn't another choice out there for me. Yes, I was safe when we did intercourse. Yes, I was
Mm.
upfront with him when we did have intercourse. But, like when you're trying to get help and your family, they just seem like they were my biggest enemies. Hello Jen. I'm gonna let you guys speak in 1 second. I want to get to these comments right quick, just so everybody can know that I'm not reading skipping over them. Lovely Ms. McClurk says, "Lovely one, that's right." Jennifer Love Spew says, "One, you are so right. Most of the country is only one paycheck away from being unhoused." Lovely one says, "Queen Tulsa, your guest didn't sound like she was being honest and assessing a homeless person being homeless because she's seen with the drugs, she hesitated. Okay, then we have lovely one that says, um, "What's wrong in the product has got to do with knowing drugs when you see them or drug addicts because it's not even the neighborhood." So she stereotyping, and I don't want to be disrespectful. 50% of hold on 1 second, Saya. 50% of homeless people have a mental illness. And then Debbie says, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that." All right, so I just wanted to definitely I want to give everybody a safe place to speak their piece, but let's do it in
Oh,
a nice fashion.
it's not a safe place. It's not a safe place. Not now.
Okay.
Time out. Oh, we gonna
Well,
go back to
son,
the comment. I'm her guest. Wrong answer. I said what I said because I said where I live.
yeah,
Now,
that
as
was
far
your
as me being the
experience.
project, what they what they got to do with your comment? Boy, you come check me. Please find a safe place to go. To that safe place ain't with me. I said what I experienced, what I saw, what I've been through, and what I have done. I said me, not you, not nobody else. I said me. So go find a safe place, please.
And
'Cause
can
I'm
I
getting
just
triggered. And once I get triggered, I'm jumping out something. Don't.
Okay. Well, let's
Please.
just try to keep it together, Sonya, because we want to have a good engagement.
Mm,
Go ahead,
can
Jen.
I was just gonna say, I
Welcome.
don't think that anybody's wrong because being homeless, the homeless population is not monolithic, right? You have
Right.
people like Tulsa, for instance, from our community who are forced to be unhoused. We are thrown out by families.
Hmm.
That is one reason why people, may become homeless. You have people who are suffering with addiction, and that can be a reason for being homeless. And that was the experience that Sonia was speaking about. I don't think she was saying that there's no other reason for being homeless. That's just the people that she had the experience with where she lives. And then you also have, whenever I was younger, I actually worked at a state-run mental outpatient mental health clinic, and there are actually homeless people, like what I was saying, as far as dual diagnosis, where they um, they really do prefer to not be confined to a living space, or they have a very very hard time, because of their mental illness, being in a place where they have to worry about paying bills. All of those things are very overwhelming to them, and I know it may not sound right, to those of us who actually are able to handle that, but for some people that's really a lot. There are also people who are schizophrenic who, unfortunately, it's very difficult to keep someone who is schizophrenic. It's very hard to keep them adherent to their medications, because of the different voices and the things that their brain does to them and tells them. And so a lot of times they will become afraid of the space that they are actually living in when they are housed, and will leave because they think that there's something evil there or something's going on with that. There are a number of different things, even people who are housed, who suffer from some form of mental illness or some form of trauma, um, how they how they interact even in their own homes. And something that I did not realize for me until I was much older and I was actually in therapy, I had always, no matter if I lived in a house, I had a condo, I had, multiple bedrooms and everything, I would sleep on the couch in the living room. And I would basically just confine myself to the living room. And I never understood why until I started going to therapy. And what it all came back to is that whenever I was a child, I basically stayed in my room all the time because I had a father who was like very verbally abusive to me because I was gay and we did not get along. And that room behind that door was my safe space. So I only felt safe being confined to one room. And just going out of my room in itself, I was just always like, is something going to happen? Am I going to go out here? Is he going to say something? And I carried that into adulthood. So anytime, like, if I was in a relationship and I had a partner, I would sleep in a bedroom with them, but whenever, because I felt safe, but whenever I was living on my own and by myself, I would actually just confine myself to one room because that is the only place where I felt safe. So there are many different reasons. Of course, you have people with addiction problems. You have people who, just don't have the money. They lose a job. Like a lovely one said, they go through a divorce, and they just, because of financial reasons, become homeless. So it's not monolithic. There are multiple reasons and multiple scenarios about why people are homeless, and I think that nobody's wrong. I think that everybody has their own experience with people in that community, and there are multiple different reasons why it happens. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And you made some really valid points there. And another thing, just to piggyback off of that, as I was a young child, I grew up in the house with a drug user, and actually, it was my great aunt, rest her soul. But when she would get high, I would go and scare her, and I thought that it was funny until I got high and people started bothering me. But that's in the past. Welcome on, Evangelist Val. How are you?
Hey, sweetie, I'm doing good. I want to talk about something, but I have a question. Like every time I comment in the chat, it disappears.
Okay. What is going on in the chat? Sonia, are you
Oh, I
you're
ain't
not?
blocked nobody. Nope.
Okay.
They're not blocking me. It's
Oh,
just
it's
every
just
time I
green. I
put a
don't know.
comment, like I spoke to
Oh,
Jennifer.
you know what? So I'm streaming from more than one channel. So you're probably typing up on one and it's not showing up on my main stream.
But I'm on the same channel as Jennifer because I typed right up under Jennifer's name and said hello. And I said hello to Pamela and I said hello to somebody else, and all of them are gone.
Okay. Not really sure, but I see everybody saying hello to you. So what did you want to come up and sound off about?
Um, Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Miss Val.
Jennifer, we having some tension. What's the air about?
Well, Miss Val, what we're talking about tonight is drug addictions
Mm.
and
Yeah, that's what I
you know,
wanted to talk about. I was just making sure me and Jennifer didn't have no issues because we
well,
promised each
Miss
other we
Val,
would
Miss
talk
Val,
if
well,
we
Miss Val,
did.
Miss Val, this is a
I
safe
know,
place.
sweetie.
This is
I
the
know.
topic that we're talking about.
Okay,
No, we
so
didn't.
this
I don't have any tension with you. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
no. Oh, okay. Listen, I'm halfway asleep, and I still got coronavirus. So, but I wanted to talk about this because before I went to bed, because I have a nephew who was verbally abused by he's my nephew through blood. He was through not through blood, through marriage, and he was verbally abused by his both his parents. His mom did one drug and his dad did another drug, but they were high functioning in their drug abuse. So they will go to work, they would come home, they took trips, all that kind of stuff. But they were spending up the money on drugs faster than they could make the money. and he was the only child. And so they were never physically abusive, but they were abusive. And they would tell him to do things like get into the dog kennel and stay there until they got home. And so this would happen like between the time he was like 6 to maybe 12. And I didn't know this, until me and my husband sat down and talked, and he was telling me this. So as he got older, maybe a couple of years ago, he got addicted to heroin, and he started using heroin, and he was still functioning. He had a good job and everything, but he was doing the same thing. When you go over to visit him, and he would literally be locked in his dog's kennel, where even though he had this nice apartment, he was like punishing himself. So there would be the drug on the table, and he would be locked in this kennel as if he was trying to protect himself from using. And
Well,
would you
I
say?
was gonna say it was like I had a tweak. So when I would use, I would hit my stuff. I did primos. I never used a pipe, but I did primos, and my mine was hitting it and getting in the mirror and blowing that smoke out. So
Right,
maybe that was his tweak, was to get
right,
high,
right.
go in there,
And then
and that
climb into the
boost.
cage.
Yeah, and it makes him even high, like he can really enjoy himself now.
Right, right. So he ended up going to, well, first he ended up losing his apartment. And he stayed with all the family members for about, 3 days here, 3 days there, as much as he could, until he ended up on the street because we just had to have like an intervention, and that didn't work. And so he ended up on the street for about a week, and then he got into a facility, and they helped him really, did a really good job of helping him, and he's been clean for about 14 months now. But he had a hard time. He really did. So, I feel bad because I've seen it, and he's not the only family member that I've seen go through that, and have to deal with that. And they become such different people, between being on the drugs and off the drugs. And it's just terrible to watch them go through that, especially when they're young. And you hear them talk about how they got started using drugs at 10, 12, 14 years old. And that's just heartbreaking to know that somebody started drugs at such a young age. So
And
this was,
Miss Val, even, kind of to piggyback off of that, I mean, there are a lot of people that may be in this situation now, or that have issues with opioids because they were prescribed pills by a doctor,
right,
and they got onto those opioids. And then what happened was, like, whenever I worked in the hospital, I worked there whenever they started implementing, they called people who were addicts, they called them pill seekers. And so they would go to multiple hospitals to try and get those pain medications because
right,
their
right,
bodies were addicted to them. And whenever they stopped that and they couldn't get those pills anymore, that's when they started turning to heroin. And I mean, these
right.
are people who were perfectly functional in real life, but they had a back injury or a work injury or something, and they were
Yeah,
prescribed those medications by their doctors. They trusted their doctors. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
that's how they ended up in that situation. And it's really through no fault of their own. They didn't
yeah,
choose to become an addict. Being an addiction is not a choice, you know. And
exactly,
so
exactly.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And what's so interesting about that is when I first got diagnosed with MS, one of the things they tried to do was give me hydrocodone at like 700. It was a huge prescription. And I told the doctor, I was like, this was so many years ago, and my boys were younger, and I was like, I cannot maintain a household on this kind of medication. I
Yep.
can't. Like Tylenol makes me sleepy, so I'm like,
Yep.
I cannot maintain a household. And he's like, well, you're going to feel pain. First, they told me Black women didn't feel pain with this
That's
disease.
ugh,
And I was, yeah. And I was like,
ugh.
okay, that's not true. And so then he starts throwing all kind of opioids at me, and just to get me out of his office. And I told him, I said, I can't take that. I can't take care of my children on that kind of medication. And so he got an attitude. He tore that script up, and he was like, well, just try a leave. And I'm like, fine, then I'll try a leave. I don't want to be a drug addict because I already know if you give me that, my body is going to yearn for that at some point, and they don't care.
Absolutely.
They just, go ahead.
No, I was going to say absolutely. That's what they do. I have chronic pain because I have neuropathy from my diabetes, and
Yeah, that's what my mom had.
whenever they first found that out, I had a doctor who wanted to prescribe me an opioid, and I was like, I'm absolutely not doing that.
Right.
And I found a
Yeah.
doctor who has been able to do other things that do help me that are non-addictive medications.
Yes.
And
Yes. And
you
they
really,
never, that's the thing. They never first say, well, do you want to try physical therapy? Do you want to go to the pain clinic? That's never the first option. It's always, well, let's try this, oxycodone or this
Well, guess
hydrocodone or
what?
this Percocet.
yeah,
They're making billions of dollars. So why wouldn't they suggest you?
yeah, yeah,
Right.
because
They're
these
making
doctors get
billions of
paid by these
dollars.
pharmaceutical companies to push
Yeah.
those drugs. So,
Yeah, they sure are.
you
Hey
know,
Jen,
so we always, as in any case, we always have to be our own best healthcare advocate.
Yeah. That is
Jen,
the
would
truth.
you mind reading that what's on the channel for us, please?
Me?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
It says, doctor charged with illegally distributing controlled substances, which resulted in the death of three patients.
Oh my
In
goodness.
Oklahoma City, a federal grand jury has returned an indictment involving the illegal distribution of opioids and other controlled substances, announced Timothy J. Downing, United States Attorney for the Western District of Oklahoma. On June 18th, 2020, the grand jury charged Donald Young Jun Kim, MD, 53, for distributing opioids and other controlled substances illegally. In 2018, the Oklahoma City DEA District Office began to investigate the prescription writing of Dr. Kim, who practiced in Oklahoma City. The indictment alleges that from July 1, 2015 to October 12, 2018, Dr. Kim committed 154 separate counts of distributing controlled substances, including Schedule II opioids such as oxycodone, oxycontin, and fentanyl, as well as other controlled substances outside the usual course of professional medical practice and without legitimate medical purpose. The indictment also alleges that his criminal distribution of these drugs resulted in three patient deaths. If convicted of distributing controlled substances illegally, Dr. Kim could be imprisoned for up to 20 years. If convicted of any of the three distribution counts alleged to have resulted in deaths, however, he would face a sentence of not less than 20 years and up to life. Any of these counts could result in a fine of up to $1 million and a term of supervised release of at least 3 years. This case is the result of an investigation by the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, and the Consumer Protective Branch of the U.S. Department of Justice. Assistant U.S. Attorneys David P. Peterman, Matthew P. Anderson, and Protection Branch Criminal Division Attorney Donald Lorenzen are prosecuting the case. The public is reminded these charges are merely accusations and that Dr. Kim is presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Reference is made to court filings for further information. And that is, that's just what we were talking about. And
It
now
is.
what we see is that with heroin or with a lot of different drugs that are being sold on the street, they're laced with fentanyl. And
Yeah,
that's
Uh-huh.
they
why so
are.
many people can die so quickly because fentanyl is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
that's why we're seeing all of these increases in overdose deaths. And, especially unfortunately for people who are unhoused and who are living out on the street, they're
Right.
not able to figure out, any of us wouldn't be able to figure out, well, is this laced with something other than what I think I'm going to buy, you know?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so they are actually the victims of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Because they
but
just
you
want to
know
get
what?
high, so they
We
just
gotta
take
hold
it.
these doctors accountable too because they are who? Enablers.
Oh yeah. Oh
Enablers.
yeah. Because
You
look at
know,
him. He's giving medicine to people who don't even need the medicine, or
and then
I bet he was writing prescriptions, out to people just because they like family members or friends, or writing prescriptions just because he could write prescriptions. That's just crazy.
y'all, when I
And
tell y'all, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say there's an actual documentary about the beginning of OxyContin and how this pharmaceutical company lied and how they pushed it out and got all of these people addicted. And there was a lot of politicians involved because this was a big pharmaceutical company, and that pharmaceutical company was lining the pockets of politicians with money for their reelection campaigns. And so it is all inter intertwined. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not just one
Right.
thing or the other. I mean, it goes from government to the pharmaceutical company to the doctors. And then what we end up doing is we end up criminalizing the people who become addicted to these things. And it's not,
Right.
addiction is a disease, it's not a choice.
Yeah,
And
and then
so
let me.
Right.
the
Oh,
people who
go
are
ahead.
the victims are the ones who are being prosecuted for this, while these, what they are is legal drug pushers, legal
Mm-hmm.
drug dealers
Yes,
Right.
are walking free. But
yes,
we have people who have been sitting in prison for decades for selling weed, but
yeah.
Right.
none of these big pharmaceutical heads who knowingly push these addictive drugs out on people, none of them are in prison.
Say it.
Right.
And then let me
Yep.
just say this, Sonya, I want to publicly apologize because we do run a tight shift over here at the Goddess Tosa show, and everybody is welcome to sound off or whatever, but it was a trigger for Sonya. So I definitely want to acknowledge you. You are the head mod, and anybody over here, if you're triggered, something happens on the scene, let's call it out, let's address it. But Sonya, I publicly want to apologize for you to you for it happening here. And going forward, we just want people to be respectful when they
I'm sorry
they're
that happened to you, Sonia.
yeah
That should
when they
never happen to anyone.
yeah when people are sharing their personal experiences. We can't discredit anybody. We can't tell that person how to feel or deliver that story.
Yeah. That.
I was talking about that young lady that she got something to say about, people are doing drugs because somebody was close to me was doing it. And they was like, well, I'd rather sell you than sell myself. And that kind of like I'm
Who
working through
said
that.
that?
The other two points I was that part,
Oh,
I already told my psychiatrist, my therapist, I know that's where my anger stems from. Is that
Sonya,
I'm working
repeat
through
what
that right now.
Sonya, repeat what you said because you
Huh?
had broke out. Repeat what you
Oh,
said
I'm
because you
sorry.
broke out.
I said that that young lady that was in here speaking, love, whatever her name is, they talking about drugs. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I honestly do. Because somebody close to me was on it, and she was like, I'd rather sell you than sell me. And told me, well, go talk to that man. He gonna give you something, this, that, and the third. I was like
Oh,
14.
yeah.
And so they
I
kind of,
believe
they,
it.
they, they right there kind of triggers me to where I'm telling myself, don't get disrespectful because I would get real disrespectful and not gonna
I
care
believe
what
it.
come out my mouth.
Yeah,
So
I
go
believe it.
find something.
That, you know,
Go play
mhm.
in traffic. Don't play with me because I'm too stupid for that. I'll be the person to come find your address and be knocking on your
All
door.
right, that is
But you
beautiful.
know what?
So
This is one
I'm
thing that
being
we have to
quiet.
learn.
Hold up, I'm
You
being quiet because I'm calming me down right now.
right.
So I know
You
everybody
can't
go through
negate
something. Everybody
somebody
get triggered
else's
by something.
pain. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You can't do that to people. Like you don't know other people's situations. You can't negate their pain. I went, y'all, some of y'all know I went to jail for selling drugs. So I know that people will try to sell you their children. They will try to sell you their car. They will try to sell you their house, bring you that's how bad people want drugs. They will bring you their house key, their car key, their shoes, their clothes. They'll show up with all kinds of stuff. So you can't negate somebody's situation unless you were there, and you still can't negate it because you're not the person that it happened to. That's what we have to get out of the habit of, being able to listen to one another's stories and have compassion and sensitivity instead of being ready to say, "Oh no, that didn't happen." You can't do that to people.
Well, Miss Val, let me ask you that. So, being that you were a drug dealer, like, how was that life? Were you ever targeted?
No,
And
God, yeah. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. And the only reason I did it was because one, my parents were very well known in the community, and they pressured us to be like straight laced kids, good get good grades and participate in extracurricular activities. They wanted us to be great. And I did all of that. But then once I was out getting about to get ready to go out of high school, I wanted to do something exciting. And I just kind of strayed away from home. My siblings still was, close to home, and I wanted to do something. I just felt this need, this desire to do something. And I met up with this guy, and that's what he was doing. And he was deep into it too. I mean, like deep, like he was driving, from state to state, delivering and dropping off. And he had 5 or 6 cars, and he was, living that life. And so I started dating him, and then I started running with him. And then, I started making sure that I could get learning the way of the situation, getting this
Learning the
car.
game.
Um,
And we
right,
would call that learning the
exactly.
game. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, learning the game and learning how to, um, stay away from the police and how to, it was bad. Like it was bad. I tell people all the time, I know that I had to go through that because everything that I went through made me more of who I am today. But it was bad because it was not the situation I should have been in. But I learned so much from it because he ended up trying to kill me. That was the domestic relationship that I talk about. That's the one that pistol whipped me, held me hostage, held my son hostage. That was a dangerous relationship. He had anger issues for sure, and he had mommy issues. He sold drugs to his mother. She was addicted, and he sold drugs to her. So it was just a terrible situation. But I like nice things, and my parents, they provided for us and they made sure we had whatever we needed. But I wanted to get my own stuff, and I would work a little job here and there. But no, I wanted to have a lot of money, and that's why I connect with certain people because of my past. I understand certain mentalities in certain ways because I understand the desire to want to have something. But you got to be careful how you go about it because you got to be ready for the end game. You got to be ready for, just like I always say, you can go around here doing whatever you want to do, but can you pay for it? Can you pick up what you putting down? And that's what I had to do. I had to do my time because the guy said you got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for it, no matter how bad you feel about it. You got to pay for it. And the reason I even got caught, I wasn't even in the house that I'll call myself running out of. I was at home at my parents' house, and the stuff, the police showed up, and this is how your people do. It was 2 girls and a guy there, and the first thing they did was tell on me. Give my information, and then the police showed up at my parents' house and got me. And that's it was what it was. I couldn't deny it. I couldn't lie about it. And that was the beginning of me turning my life around.
I'm
So
so
I
proud of you.
record.
Yeah, I'm so proud of your
Oh,
story, but
girl,
I have a question. How much time did you do?
I did 2 years and 4 months.
Okay. And another thing,
I was sentenced to 5 years.
okay, so it was 5 years. So did you take a plea deal and got two?
No, I just did 2 years because it was like time served, and it was because I had to do a week there while waiting on whatever they say, getting your paperwork and having to see the judge twice. I did a week. So they said time served, and they said that I was a good um, prisoner. I didn't get in no trouble, didn't cause no trouble, whatever. So they let me out early.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like this show For My Man. It's like you had come
And
from
that's
a
for
good
my man.
household. Yes. It's you come from a good household, your parents were there for you, you had a good life, and
Right,
life took a turn
right.
and that guy had entered your life. So how did you feel when they betrayed you? When they had
I felt that I was hurt. You know what I mean? Because even though we were living that lifestyle, I thought we were cool. I'm helping y'all out. I'm helping y'all, giving y'all money, making sure y'all taken care of, and teaching y'all the ropes. And y'all got money to take home to y'all families. And I got these cars. I'm letting them drive. So to me, I was thinking we were cool. But that's the thing about games like that, that nobody is cool. Because when it comes time to answer for what you've done, people gonna turn on you. They gonna let you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do in that case? And that's what I had to think about. If it had been reversed, I would have done the same thing. Because if the police are telling you you gotta talk or you're gonna do X amount of time, you gonna talk. So it's almost like turning state's evidence. They want to get the bigger person. They don't care about the little people. They want to get the bigger person. And so that's what they asked me. They wanted somebody bigger than me. They know that I'm not doing all the work. They know that I'm running and getting it from somewhere. So they want the people bigger than you. That's what they was after. But it was horrible. But
Look,
that's part of my testimony.
yeah. Lex says, thank you for sharing your story. It
Oh
is
yeah.
it is a beautiful story because, as we were saying when we were on my interview, I was just saying, God will use your mess for your message. And, these
Amen.
tests, the test that you go through is your testimony. And I'm not
Amen.
regretful of any of it because it made us who we are today. We have a greater appreciation.
Right.
We know the disservice of those choices that we did not make in an honorable way.
Right. Right. That's so true. And it just gave me an opportunity when I was in there, I got to meet so many different people from so many different walks of life that I just became almost like engulfed with this feeling of wanting to admire everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's where that comes from in me. It's not a pick me situation. It's I have admiration for people because I can see you for who you are, and I because of where I was. I was in a place where I didn't know nobody. Like it's
Mhm.
hundreds of women. And so you have to get to know people because if you don't, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna bully you. They're gonna give you a hard time. And so I had to get to know all of these different women, and it was a beautiful situation for me because I got to know them for who they were. When nobody putting on no facade, when nobody playing no games in there. You know what I mean? And you had to get in touch with yourself. You had to learn from your lessons, and you had to get to know these women and hear their backstories. And how they had lived their life up until the point that they got in there. So that's a part of who I'm gonna do a story time one day on my channel. But that's part of why I am the way I am. It's because God humbled me. He really did. He humbled me. And he made me understand that only by his grace was I alive. Y'all, man, I got into so many fights and folks pulling guns on me and chasing me, and oh my God, it was so dangerous. So dangerous. But I know that only made it because God kept me. I know that.
Right.
So
And
when
you
I
know
hear
what?
when I hear
Oh, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, babe.
No, I was just gonna say only God, and I'm so excited for you. And I was just gonna say, so like when you were in prison, did anybody like try to, did love try to find you in there? Like, did you have to fight off? Like, what was that like?
You
Because
know
I mean,
what? Wo- Women will try to get acquainted with you, but if you let them know that it's not like the movies, if you let them know that you are not like that, I mean, as far as I know, like if you stand your ground and just say, that I'm not interested. For the most part, they don't. They not doing the R word, not that I
okay,
saw. They just, they let you know that they think you cute and they gonna holler at you every day, but they don't push up on you and take advantage of you. I didn't see none of that happening, you know.
okay.
But after you've
So
been in there so long, you like for the little flirting, you know what I mean? Because you've been in there so long.
So
But
that follows
nothing,
this
no.
question. That follows this question. Have you ever had a night where have you ever leaned on somebody's bosom and got your cry out? Did
Oh no, I ain't leaning on bosoms now.
Okay, okay. I mean, the
Miss
people
Val
want to
said, "I
know.
don't
I ain't
need a
leaning
pillow
on
that
no
bad, honey."
bosoms now. So
I mean, because like everybody needs a hug every now and again. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm good. No. When leaning on no bosoms. My mama and them come see me, I lean on my mama's bosoms.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
I
So
wasn't
Jennifer,
leaning on them orange jumpsuit bosoms. No. Child. Nuh-uh. I wasn't starting that mess. But that's why I say I can relate to so many people. And like when I hear y'all talk about drug addiction and, so many addictions, sex addiction, shopping addiction, gambling addiction, is so many things that people have that they cannot let go of. And it not just ruins their lives, but it affects the people that care about them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought this was a good show and a good idea. So, and
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to
agree.
support you. Yeah, it's a
well,
lot.
you know
It's
what?
a lot out there.
Well, like Evangelist Val, like I told you the other day on the interview, I said this is only something. This is only the beginning of my fight, of our fight as a community. I want to put things that are worth talking about. I want us to give our energy.
Exactly.
Let's get this out here. And this is a
Yeah.
coping mechanism, and we're actually giving people tools on, hey, reach out, get help. It's okay,
Right.
and you are not alone. And those
Right.
people that you do have a family member that is addicted, let's just not come to them all aggressive. Start off with love, lead with love,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
as soon as you start seeing what they need to and what you gonna do, then what's gonna happen is, okay, now I want to escape reality. And what does that mean? Now they want to start using
Yeah.
because you triggered them. And
That is
so,
true.
yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
we don't want to trigger, we want to
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
it's so
It's
important
almost
to be respectful of everybody's story because
that's just
everybody
what I
has
was
a
about to
story.
say.
Everybody has a different experience. We've all done things that, like in our real lives, not on YouTube lives, that, unless we grew up really wealthy, which I don't know many of us that did, there are things
Right.
that we had to do to survive, and we had to learn how to do that. And whenever we've experienced different traumas, whether it's racism, whether it's homophobia, whether it's transphobia, whether it's misogyny, whether it's poverty, quite frankly, all of those things, we all have to, we all deal with those traumas in different ways and try to escape that pain in different ways. And
Right.
that's why it's so respectful that that's why it's so important that we're just all respective of each other's stories, because not everybody can handle the same things the same way that somebody else
Exactly.
would.
Mhm.
Exactly. And when we have to be mindful that we have been through things and we have trauma. If you have trauma, I just assume everybody has it. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go around asking, oh, have you been traumatized? Or what are your triggers? I just assume everybody has trauma. And so I treat everybody the same because I don't know what triggers you. I don't know what's gonna upset you. But I know I've been through some stuff. You know what I mean? So I know that I want to be treated a certain way. And so I'm going to treat you with respect, like I said on my live the other day. Until you disrespect me, I'm gonna show you respect. Like I
Yeah.
have no reason not to. I have no reason not to. And I think that I don't know. It's like the world is coming this place where people feel like that people don't deserve to be respected. But for why not? Why
Right.
And,
not?
and
That's
you
the
know
question.
the thing too is, I think that that's also why we are all so quick to bite, because we have been
Yeah.
traumatized, we've been triggered, and
Mhm.
so we've always had to be on the defense for whatever reason.
Guard up.
So if somebody comes after
Yeah.
you, you automatically go in defense and fight mode. And it may
Yeah.
not be the right way that we go about it, but it is just
Right.
something that, because of what we've been through, that's how we are. And it's
Right.
better for, although the ideal is that, oh, well, we need to just, sit back and talk about this. Unfortunately, we're human beings, and that's not the way it always
That's
works.
right. That's
And
right.
so,
Yeah.
we all just kind of have to give each other some grace.
Yeah. That's so true. That is so true. And
And
we
then
got to be compassionate to one another.
Yeah, and then don't suppress your feelings. Like, if you going through something, go take a walk. Like, call a hotline, call a friend, or listen to some music. Or this is what I do. Like when I'm having a bad day, I'll sing my favorite song, which is my gospel song, and I'll just sing it, and it'll make me feel good. But what we
Right.
really encourage is seek professional help. Lex said a big thing I learned was separating the person from the addiction.
And
Hi,
that
Sean.
is true.
Okay.
That is true. And
Uh-huh.
Okay.
also, Miss Val, whenever you were saying that you couldn't see, I couldn't see your comments whenever you came in. I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see Lack. I can't see their comments in the chat either. And
Oh, okay.
McClurg had posted, or not McClurg, somebody else had posted something, and I couldn't see theirs either. I can only see it whenever Tulsa puts it on the screen.
On the
So
screen.
I don't know what
Uh-huh.
the deal is because I can't see everybody because I didn't even see you come in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was speaking when I came in. I'm like, where my comments at? So yeah, I'm like, what's going on? You'd be like, I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get down. It's time for me to go to sleep. But I wanted to just pop up and share that story. I didn't mean to share all my business, but it
Listen,
is what it is.
listen, we prayed before this live went, and I just said, Lord, just take over and you have at it. And I'm so happy that you
Amen.
shared the story because it's so
I
many,
me too.
yes. I
Yeah, and
mean,
it's always important anytime that we can share our stories because you never know who's listening. You know what I mean? There could be that one person
Amen.
who's
Yeah.
listening. They might never be in the chat. They might be in the bushes. They may watch this live later and just come across it and they can hear what you've been through and how and what you've done and that can be an inspiration to them. You know what I mean? We never know.
So
We think,
true.
oh, well
Yeah.
this is just YouTube, but whenever we're talking about important topics like we really don't know who we're affecting. And so
Right.
if we're here, telling what's happened to us, maybe we can help somebody in some way.
mhm.
Right. Right. I believe that. I believe that. Well, I'm gonna go. Y'all have a good night.
Good
All right,
night, Miss
I will
Val.
you
see
as
you all
well.
later. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, sweetie. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye. All right, so that was a great interaction. So with the whole show going on, Jen, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And what do you think? Do you have any suggestions on what I should bring more to the community? I understand that this was a great topic. We got a lot of people engaged. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions?
Well, so I think that this was a great show. The one of the things that maybe you can do is maybe like dive down into like drug use in different communities. I mean, I know that in our community right now, there's a meth epidemic.
Uh huh.
Especially among gay men and trans women.
Yes.
And it's really, really taking over,
Mhm.
and I know many people who have gotten into it. I mean, they were, really intelligent. And because I have a family member who was addicted to meth for many years, I see what it has done to her brain and how she's not even I don't want to say she's not coherent, but she's not like she doesn't have logical thinking skills anymore
Mm.
because of all of the damage that it did to her brain. And we see a lot of people in our community turning to that. And they're turning to those things, because they have that unresolved trauma, because they went through the bullying, they went through the hatred, they've been through the discrimination, and they just need to feel better.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe that's something we could, delve into or you could delve into one night.
No, I would love for you to be a part of it because I feel like everybody that came up on the panel had a contribution, and I feel like we all helped in some way. So it takes a village. I would
Absolutely.
love to support. So drug addictions in all communities.
Yeah. I mean, there are different drugs that affect different communities, right?
Hmm.
If you look at like more so the white community actually seems to have it's the opioids and the heroin that seems to have like a stronghold on them. In the
Hmm.
gay community it's crystal meth. In the black community it's often, it can be a mixture of all, but it's normally more like cocaine, crack cocaine, that type of thing. And we
Yeah.
can also delve into how those things were actually introduced into those communities, into our communities, into our community as LGBTQ people, into the black community as, whenever they made cocaine cheaper by modifying it to crack, and they pushed it out into especially poverty-stricken communities of color, because what they were doing, the government was involved in that, and what that did was that gave them a way to criminalize poor Black people who felt like they had no way out. They knew that they were more, I don't want to say prone, but more susceptible to addiction. And
Yeah,
so that's what they did. They pushed that out into the communities.
like the
And
crack era, the
yeah.
80s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. They pushed
I
that
mean,
out for a reason. It was to
uh-huh.
target those communities. Then, if you have a felony, then you can't vote. They want to take all of
Mhm.
these rights from you. They can't say, "Oh, well, you're Black, you can't vote." But what they will do is they will do something like that. They'll push those drugs out there. They'll say, "Oh, well, if we can make them sell these drugs, we can get them on a felony. If they're an addict, we can criminalize them." All of those things are not just they are not done without purpose. And so I think that those things would be, good to get into.
Oh my God. I just got so excited about it. I'm
Mm.
ready to dove into it. I like to stay low key. So whenever I think of something, I'll just put up the live. I share it with my mods as well. Are you on Instagram?
I am. Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna have to follow you on Instagram, but I usually put when I'm going live and whatever the topic is, so the mods can have first dibs and first knowledge on everything. I'm gonna add you to that group if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And
And
I
you
will tell you, a lot of times during the week, especially like Monday through Thursday, I work long hours a lot of times. So if I don't respond, don't,
I understand. Yeah.
but a bitch got bills to pay. So
And listen, okay, and listen, my kiddos are coming home, so I'm getting all my partying and all my yelling out this weekend because they will be home tomorrow. Yes, but I really enjoyed the engagement, the fellowship, and just um, everybody coming up and sharing. And let me just read these comments and then we can get out of here. Cat Nunion says a lot of people are dying from meth addiction now because dealers are cutting it with fentanyl. Deadly
yep.
combination. And
Same
even
thing with heroin. Yeah, all of that. They're even lacing weed with it, you know?
yeah, Lex says, with so much anger and hate on the internet, it's so nice to see people having an insightful and intellectual panel that's so important to discuss. You know what? Absolutely. I'm not gonna say we don't have a past, but guess what? We're not focused on the past, and it's all about where we are today. It's okay. Like if you see somebody, they not where they out there and they lost on these YouTube streets and dramas, just say, hey, I got some knowledge for you. Just give it a try. So it's one person at a time, and it's not only me, it's the panelists and the universe. Let's see, right, Cat?
Absolutely, because none of us are perfect, honey. We all been in the in the anger and hate part
Yeah,
too. We are not perfect, okay, but
we are
we're trying to do better.
absolutely, and that's the thing. Nobody's perfect, and what we do here is we accept you as you are. Like they say, it's supposed to be a church, but here you come as you are. I don't care if you come in some hoochie mama shorts, them what they call them hoochie daddy shorts. If the guys coming up in here, okay. But listen, I definitely want to thank Val. I want to thank everybody. And then I want to close out on this. It doesn't matter where you started from, is where you're going and where your story is going to end. And I think Chris Brown said it best. We're not going to play the song, but we're going to go out on the beat. Oh, Jen. Okay. Jen, would you like to say some closing words to the people? Oh, I think Jen is on mute. Sonya, do you want to say some closing words to the people before we head out, my love?
Oh, yeah. Be nice to everybody. Some people going through things that we don't know about, and be kind. But yeah, my phone had rung a while ago. That's why I had got off. My bad. But
Oh no, you're
I'm
fine.
okay. I'm okay now.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
person I was talking to, they no longer on here anymore.
Okay. So listen, let the people know where they can find you, honey.
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Sonya Mabia, just my name. And I'm on either one of them. I got a channel that's on YouTube. I might go live. Now, oh, when we going live to go cook anyway? What we cooking?
Okay. So listen, so tomorrow actually we can cook a nice meal. So what I'll do is I definitely want you to teach me the cornbread from scratch. And then yeah, I want to do that and then let's just do chicken breasts and if we can get some asparagus. So chicken breast, asparagus,
No, ma'am.
corn, what? No
I,
chicken breast?
no,
No asparagus?
no, not chicken breast or asparagus. Anything that's high in potassium, I can't have right now. And I
Okay.
don't eat asparagus. I'm sorry, I don't eat vegetables like that. I know I need that in my diet, but
Ooh, how about a meatloaf? Meatloaf, cornbread, and a veggie.
there you go to vegetables.
Because I tell my kids, I'm like, you gotta have a
Yeah,
vegetable. Like we gonna
yeah.
have a
I mean,
vegetable up
you
in
got
here.
meatloaf, cornbread, and probably greens. Not greens I eat. Don't forget to pickle juice and your jalapeno juice and some sugar for the greens.
Okay, I'm gonna
We
try
can
the
do that.
sugar with
We can
greens.
do that Sunday. We can do that Sunday. It could be a Sunday meal.
Okay, so we'll talk about it backstage. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it backstage, and then we'll post it on Saturday night, or no, we'll talk about it Friday or Saturday night, and then we'll have it posted so you guys can see what we're gonna cook on.
Broccoli, meatloaf and broccoli. I like broccoli and cheese.
Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And mashed potatoes. Yeah, them potatoes. Yeah, that's kind of high in potassium. But do I like mashed potatoes? Yes. And
Mm,
broccoli and cheese? Yes. But I'll eat some greens, cornbread, some hot sauce, and there's some turkey. What's that? Smoked turkey?
uh-huh.
Yeah. And them greens. Well, I cook my smoked turkey first, then I throw the greens in.
Kind of like a moist Mexican cornbread is to die for. My mom's recipe. Oh, yes, please send it to me. Listen here, that's one thing I love is some cornbread. I don't eat enough of it, but you know what? I think it's time for me to indulge in that bread. Yes, and you know what? With my greens, my collard greens, I have to have me a tomato
Wait a minute, the
and
missing cornbread got corn in it, like sweet corn or something, or some type of green, something in there.
mm,
Yeah, no,
said greens with hot
but
sauce.
like
Yeah.
regular cornbread and some greens. Woo, some greens. Look on,
Mm,
girl. I'm down south and jalapeno juice, pickle juice, and a little bit of sugar in there, and boil it down. S- Oh, and a chest pie. Woo! Not that
yes.
buttermilk, not that lemon custard, regular chest pie. Now, you diabetic, I suggest you don't eat that chest pie because it's like it's sweet as hell. And I'm diabetic, but my doctors know Pepsi and
Was it
now Pepsi, I'm not giving up. They know they can do for me the Pepsi. I'll
uh
tell my whole hospital down behind a Pepsi. Don't play with me on my Pepsi.
so listen, Sonya. Oh, let them know that we can that you also have a cookbook. So we not only cater to like just like regular meals where like you just use any type of seasoning. We cater
You
to
can make your own. You can make your own. What they call it? The taco seasoning. I got a recipe to make your own taco seasoning. I made my own taco seasoning. It tastes good. It got recipes to make your own chili. It's like vegetarian. It's like diabetic friendly. I would say you can make your own popcorn, your own brownies. That's not sweet. Dark chocolate, unsweetened dark chocolate. It's
mm,
good, but Don't drink a diet soda because that diet soda will kill you faster than a regular soda will. And you correct about that water. When it's hot, drink room temperature water. Don't drink cold water because it's gonna shock your stomach and it's gonna come up. Drink
Right.
warm water in a around about this time. If you down in Texas, drink plenty of water. 'Cause this is gonna be 100 and some tomorrow.
All
But
right.
you still come down here in August.
I'm really planning on it. I'm really planning on it. But yeah, let's talk behind the scenes. But yes, I'm planning on it.
All right.
Okay, so you guys know where to follow Sonya at Sonya Mabia. Make sure you check her out. Great content. She's a head mod over here. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you have a channel, please make sure you come back to the video. Drop your channel link in the comment section so people can know where to find you. All right, and on that note, good night. Bye.